Welcome to Damn Good Movie Memories with your host, Brian Davis. This podcast is the cure for your long commute and super boring workday. Hey there, it's Brian Davis, and for this week's episode, we're going to cover the movie Rain Man from 1988. The studios were United Artists and MGM. The release date was December 16th, 1988. The running time, 134 minutes, and it was rated R. The budget, $25 million. The box office took in $173 million, making it the top-ranked movie of 1988. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 89% fresh from 83 reviews. Their consensus is, this road trip movie about an autistic savant and his callow brother is far from seamless, but Barry Levinson's direction is impressive, and strong performances from Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman add to its appeal. Roger Ebert, at the time, gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. Here's his review. Is it possible to have a relationship with an autistic person? Is it possible to have a relationship with a cat? I do not intend the comparison to be demeaning to the autistic. I am simply trying to get at something. I have useful relationships with both of my cats, and they are important to me, but I never know what the cats are thinking. That is precisely the situation that Charlie Babbitt, played by Tom Cruise, is faced with in Rain Man. His brother Raymond, played by Dustin Hoffman, is a high-level autistic. He can carry on conversations, stick to a schedule, compile baseball statistics, memorize dinner menus, and become disturbed when anything upsets his routine. He can also count 46 spilled toothpicks in an instant and calculate square roots in a flash. But what is he thinking? There is a moment in Rain Man that crystallizes all the frustrations that Charlie feels about Raymond. A moment when he cries out, "I know there has to be somebody inside there. But who and where?" Rain Man is so fascinating because it refuses to supply those questions with sentimental but unrealistic answers. This is not a movie like Charlie, in which there is a miracle cure. Rain Man works so well within Raymond's limitations because it's a movie about limitations, particularly Charlie's own limited ability to love those in his life, or to see things from their point of view. Rain Man is a project that Hoffman and Cruise have been determined to bring to the screen for a long time. Barry Levinson came on board after 3 previous directors signed off on this material. The problem, of course, was Raymond. If the fiction is about change, then how can you make a movie about a man who cannot change, whose whole life is anchored and defended by routine? Few actors could get anywhere with this challenge, and fewer still could absorb and even entertain us with their performances. But Hoffman proves again that he almost seems to thrive on impossible acting challenges. At the end of Rain Man, I felt a certain love for Raymond, the Hoffman character. I don't know quite how Hoffman got me to do it. He does not play cute or lovable or pathetic. He is matter-of-fact, straight down the middle, uninflected, unmoved, uncomprehending in all of his scenes, except when his routine is disrupted, when he grows disturbed until it is restored. And yet I could believe that Cruise's character was beginning to love him, because that was how I felt too. I loved him for what he was, not for what he was not, or could not be. By the end of Rain Man, what have we learned? I think the movie is about acceptance. Charlie Babbitt's first appearance in the movie has him wheeling and dealing in the face of imminent ruin, trying to control his life and lives of others by blind, arrogant willpower. What Raymond teaches him is that he can relax. Because try as he might, he will always be powerless over other people. They will do just about what they choose to do, no matter how loud Charlie Babbitt screams. Raymond has a lot he can teach Charlie about acceptance, even if it is the solitary thing he knows. And that's the end of Ebert's review. Rain Man was way ahead of its time when it was made in the late 1980s. Today, the diagnosis of autism is far more common than it was 35 years ago. Back then, people that were in the autistic spectrum were usually labeled as retarded or slow, especially if they were in a school system that didn't correctly diagnose their disability. So when I first saw the film, I was taken by the humor of the film that took place during the serious scenes. It also introduced me on screen to someone different mentally. It was easy to spot somebody with a physical disability, but Rain Man offered millions of people the chance to have empathy for more complex afflictions. Okay, let's get into the main cast. Of course, Dustin Hoffman plays Raymond Babbitt. By 1988, Hoffman was already considered one of the finest actors of his generation, which had already been 2 decades long at that point. His most notable films prior to Rain Man, get ready: The Graduate, Midnight Cowboy, Straw Dogs, Papillon, All the President's Men, Marathon Man, Kramer vs. Kramer, and Tootsie. Though his last film prior to Rain Man was one of his most infamously panned films of all time, it was 1987's Ishtar with Warren Beatty. Tom Cruise plays Charlie Babbitt. So while Dustin Hoffman was already Hollywood royalty, Cruise had just hit superstardom after the enormous hit of Top Gun in 1986. Now, I covered one of his first films on this podcast. It was the 1983 sex comedy Losing It. Next would be The Outsiders, with tons of young actors who would make it big in the 80s. Cruise would just continue a steady rise with Risky Business and All the Right Moves and Legend before Top Gun made him a superstar. After Top Gun, it was The Color of Money with Paul Newman, which was the sequel to The Hustler. Next was Cocktail, and then Rain Man. Valeria Golino plays Susanna. The Italian actress starred in films in the early 80s, making films in her native country of Italy. She moved to Hollywood, and her first American film was in the Pee Wee Herman sequel, Big Top Pee-wee. Next came Rain Man. Talk about a stark difference. Her other notable films would be similar to Big Top Pee-wee, playing Charlie Sheen's girlfriend in the Top Gun spoof, Hot Shots. The director, Barry Levinson. Levinson's first major film was 1982's Diner, with Steve Guttenberg, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Bacon, Daniel Stern, and Ellen Barkin. But it was his next film that is still arguably one of the best. 1984's The Natural with Robert Redford, one of the greatest baseball movies ever made. Next was Young Sherlock Holmes, Tin Man with Richard Dreyfuss and Danny DeVito, and the very successful Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams. Okay, let's get into the making of the film. So, director Barry Levinson was the 4th director connected to the film, as Ebert mentioned. However, prior to him eventually becoming the director on Rain Man, Sidney Pollack was the director, and Levinson had been reading the script and called Pollack to pass along his notes and feedback. Levinson had been on vacation with his wife and was explaining the story of the film to her, and she suggested that he be the one that direct the film, and she was very persistent. About 3 to 4 weeks later, Pollack dropped out, and Levinson accepted the directing role. Now, the other 2 directors attached were Martin Brest and Steven Spielberg. Even though Levinson was new to the project, the wheels had been in motion for over a year, as Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise were already cast in their roles, and Hoffman in particular had been studying autism for his role with specialists for almost a year at that point. Levinson's key early contribution was to simplify the plot and not have it be too convoluted. And that's exactly how the film ended up. When you watch Rain Man, the plot is very cut and dry. The film is essentially a series of vignettes between Charlie and Raymond learning about each other. Now, the casting of Valeria Golino as Susanna was a key choice, according to Levinson, as he wanted the character to not be American and have English not be her first language. The reason is that she could break the rhythm and give a different perspective to a situation that Tom Cruise's character, on his own, could not portray. She could ask questions about what he's doing and therefore inform the audience of his thought process in a unique way. And her presence is perfect in the film, as she often offers the empathy that is much needed, since the Charlie character lacks much of that empathy throughout the film. Co-screenwriter Ron Bass was conscientious not to write the film as a documentary. He didn't want the film to be all about facts for autism. The Raymond character had savant autism, and Bass helped develop the character around this premise without trying to cram medical jargon down the audience's throats. The original script and character that writer Barry Morrow created for Raymond was that he was not as highly functioning as what the character ended up as. He was more of a lower IQ, mentally retarded person, but a sweet and lovable character similar to his friend named Bill, which I'll cover in a bit. It's then that Dustin Hoffman suggested that the character possibly be autistic savant, which is a more challenging type of character for him to play. However, it would be a long time before that came to fruition, since the director Martin Brest wanted to stick to the original characters and script. It was actually when Steven Spielberg became part of the film who thought that the heart of the film was a love story between Charlie and Raymond, but the conflict had to be through the autism plot angle. How do you actually overcome that obstacle? Spielberg eventually had to drop out of the film because he had committed to directing the third Indiana Jones film, which was The Last Crusade, but very much regretted years later that he wasn't the one able to direct Rain Man. As it turned out, Ron Bass's sister Diane was a social worker at UCLA and had experience working with autistic people, and she was able to be an advisor for Ron's script. One of her contributions about Raymond's savant capability was that he was exactly the same person the entire film. He never changes. It's Charlie who goes on the roller coaster evolution of emotions. But one of the autistic traits that the Raymond character has, and others like him have in real life, is that no matter what he experiences, he stays the same throughout. And it's up to the other people to be conscientious not to disrupt Raymond's world. This makes writing for the Raymond character really tricky, because traditionally all characters have an arc when being written. But Raymond cannot. It wouldn't be factually truthful for someone with this type of autism. So Barry Morrow, the co-writer of Rain Man, had a friend named Bill Sachter for about a decade who was mentally challenged, which gave Morrow the impetus for writing Rain Man. However, his initial writings about his friend were adapted into a TV movie in 1981 called Bill. This starred Mickey Rooney and Dennis Quaid. Specifically for Rain Man, Morrow's meeting with Kim Peek, an autistic savant man who was in his mid-30s at the time. This is when the story of Rain Man morphed into more of a story about autism. Peek was able to read and memorize books at an amazing speed and was always able to recall everything he read, similar to the Raymond character in the film. So I'm not going to really deep dive into autism for a few reasons. One, I'm certainly not an expert, and I think if you're interested in the subject, there are thousands of books and papers about the topic available, and a quick podcast episode just can't do that. I would also suggest talking to parents of autistic kids, as they can help you better understand some of the questions and interests you may have. All right, let's get into the film. So it opens with Charlie Babbitt inspecting a group of 4 imported Lamborghinis.
Due panafarina, una rossa, un argento del 79 dell'82. Quale? Sì. No, non è che sono sospettosa. L'ultima volta che mi hai detto un piccolo danno alla carrozzeria mi è arrivata una carcassa.
How many times you wash out with EPA?
Yes, sir, they're finally clearing EPA. Just 1 or 2 more days.
3 times? You're really on a roll here, my friend. 4 cars, 3 times each? That's zip for 12. What are you, a mechanic or a NASA engineer? Now listen, I told you I've never dealt with these Lamborghinis before, and yet you assured me that you could deliver these cars within that time frame.
Well,
Don't tell me that, because I'm not even listening.
well, sir, I hardly think that's necessary.
Well, I'll explain that to my swing loan. I'm sure he'll be very sympathetic. I'm into him for 200,000. That's 1,000, my friend. 3 zeros. I got all my money tied up in these cars, and if I don't get my money out, I am over. I am finished. Do you understand that?
Well, you have to understand our situation here.
I don't give a damn about your problems. I got the shark snapping at my heels here. They could have taken the car in my business 11 days ago. They're collateral, for God's sake. I have to hold them out the whip in a chair here.
I understand that. I know delivery is way overdue, but...
Friggin' EPA. The whole world is choking on smog, and they're going to correct the situation by keeping my 4 cars off the road?
Well, of course.
Bobby Collectibles.
Well, have you tried cash? How much can one of these EPA guys earn in a week? Huh?
Charlie, Mr. Wyatt.
Wyatt?
Yeah. About the swing loan. He doesn't get the money by 5:30. He's gonna come and seize all the cars.
I'm going to have to call you back.
I really think you should talk to Mr. Babbitt on this.
Tell me that you don't understand. I signed a check on Tuesday. You personally watched me sign it, and then you gave it to the mail girl. Come on, I need this.
The woman Charlie is talking to is his co-worker and girlfriend, Susanna, played by Valeria Golino. Charlie's business, while legal, sort of straddles the line of being a bit sketchy since he often robs Peter to pay Paul. If things don't go as planned, his business could be done because he can't pay back his loans. But Charlie is also a smooth talker and will pretty much say anything to get a deal done. While this helps him at times, it also gets him into trouble because he thinks he can handle anything. Charlie buys some time with his clients, and so he and Susanna head to Palm Springs on vacation. And while on the road, Charlie gets a phone call on his car phone. Yes, very novel at the time.
Listen, I don't want to be demanding here, but do you think, could you possibly say, I don't know, 10 or 12 words before we get to the hotel? Consider it foreplay. Can you include me in some of your thoughts?
I'm just thinking, nothing special. I'm just thinking.
Maybe there's something that you're thinking about that we can talk, make a little conversation.
Well, if there's something to talk about, Susanna, we'd be talking about it. I'm just thinking, what's the big to-do about me thinking here?
I don't know, Charlie, I just feel like, I'm going away for a few days with someone. Call me crazy.
Okay, you want to talk? Let's talk. How was your day?
I don't want to talk. I feel like you're excluding me from what's going on. It's not that I want to talk.
One of these again, Susanna. How do we get back to one of these?
I don't want to... I don't know why I put up with all this.
What? You wanted to go to Palm Springs, and we're going to Palm Springs.
But I didn't want to go alone. I've been sitting in this car for more
Susanna,
than
you want
an
to
hour
talk?
and a
Let's
half.
Let's talk.
This is not talking. This is you going like...
Yeah.
Charlie, this is Lenny. I've been trying to contact you for a while. I got a long-distance call from Mr. Mooney, you know, your father's lawyer. He's been trying to reach you. Your father has died, Charlie. Charlie?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, the funeral's tomorrow in Cincinnati. He said you'd know where. I've got his number.
That's not necessary. Anything else?
Oh, that's it. Listen, Charlie, if there's anything I can do, just call...
Sorry about the weekend, hon.
Charlie, the weekend.
Look, I told you before, we had a falling out a long time ago. My mother died when I was 2. It was just him and me. We just didn't get along.
You're going to the funeral, no?
Yeah.
I'm coming with you.
That's really sweet, but it's really no point, you know?
I want to, that's about it.
All right, sorry, I forgot who I was talking to.
Loving for our memory, admiration, and respect for him will live beyond the years of his life on earth. Let us consecrate ourselves to follow his example of zest for life, dedication to family, and charity to all. And now, with sure and certain hope of resurrection life, we commend to you the soul of our departed friend.
Just have to go over the details of the will with him tonight. Then we're out of here.
Sure, I can wait in the car if you like.
Charlie attends the funeral but stands away from the gathering. He needs to stop by at his father's house to take care of the legal matters involving his father's will.
Somebody should be watering those roses. They're all dying.
Knew this car my whole life. Only drove it once. It's a 1949 Buick Roadmaster convertible. Only 8,000 production models made. Straight 8. Fireball 8. It's the first full year of the Dynaflow transmission. Know it by rote.
You were his only child. You came along when he was, what, 45 or something? Probably, though, he was never going to have a son. So he had to love you. I think you're exaggerating. You were his child, his son, his blood. Anyway, in these pictures here, he doesn't look like a man who doesn't love his child.
What are you doing looking at this? Put that away.
No.
Put that away. Okay, you want to hear a story? I'll tell you one
But
story.
don't get mad.
I'm just saying. You know the convertible in the garage? His baby. That and the goddamn roses.
Yes.
The car was off limits to me. That's a classic Itse. It commands respect. It's not for children. 10th grade, I'm 16 years old. And for once, I bring home a report card and it's almost all A's. I go to my old man. Can I take the car out? You know, take the guys out in the Buick, sort of a victory drive. He says no. I take it anyway. I steal the keys. I sneak it out.
You took the car with no permission.
Yes, we're on.
Why? Why then?
Because I deserved it. You know, nothing I did was good enough for this guy. Don't you understand that? We're on Columbia Parkway, 4 kids. We get pulled over.
An accident.
Pulled over. Woo, woo!
What is pulled over? Police?
Yes, police. Can I finish? He called in a report of a stolen car. Not his son took the car without permission. Just stolen. Central Station, the other guy's dad's bail him out in an hour. He left me there 2 days.
He left you in prison for 2 days?
2 days.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was scared. Left home, I never saw him again.
Charlie, after a year we've been together, this is the first time I've heard this story. It's strange, no? I mean, how can you keep all this inside you and not say anything?
When I was a kid and I got scared, the Rain Man would come and sing to me.
Rain what?
You know, one of those imaginary childhood friends.
What happened to him?
Nothing, I just grew up.
Not so much.
And I remember, too, the day you left home, so full of bitterness and grandiose ideas, so full of yourself. And being raised without a mother, the hardness of your heart is understandable as well. Your refusal to even pretend that you loved or respected me, all these I forgive. But your failure to write, to telephone, to re-enter my life in any way has left me without a son. I wish you all I ever wanted for you. I wish you the best. I hereby bequeath to my son, Charles Sanford Babbitt, that certain Buick convertible, the very car that unfortunately brought our relationship to an end. Also, outright title to my prize-winning hybrid rose bushes. May they remind him of the value of excellence and the possibility of perfection. As for my home and all other property, real and personal, these shall be placed in trust, in accordance with the terms of that certain instrument executed concurrently herewith.
What does that mean, the last part? What does that mean?
It means that the estate, in excess of $3 million after expenses and taxes, will go into a trust fund for a beneficiary to be named in this document.
Who is that?
No, I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
Who controls the money? You control the money?
No, he's called a trustee.
What is that? How does that work? How does that work?
Forgive me, but there's nothing more I can say. Now, I'm sorry, son. I can see that you're disappointed.
Disappointed? Why should I be disappointed? I got rose bushes, didn't I? I got a used car, didn't I? What's his name? What'd you call him? The,
Beneficiary.
Right, beneficiary. He got $3 million, but he didn't get the rose bushes. I got the rose bushes. I definitely got the rose bushes.
Charles.
I definitely got the rose bushes. I mean, those are rose bushes.
There is no need to...
To what? To be upset? To be upset? If there is a hell, sir, my father's in it, and he is looking up right now, and he is laughing his ass off. Sanford Babbitt, you want to be that guy's son for 5 minutes? Did you hear that letter? Were you listening?
Yes, sir, I was. Were you?
No. Could you repeat it? Because I can't believe my fucking ears.
While the scene isn't meant to be funny, the way Tom Cruise plays the scene, so incredulous about what his father left or didn't leave him, was just perfect. The Charlie character has been selfish his entire life, and while much of it could be due to him lacking a mother to raise him, ultimately he's never dropped the chip off his shoulder as an adult. And his verbal repetition of, "But I got the rose bushes," is a bit of foreshadowing for a key character and their vocal traits coming up. Charlie does some investigating, or hustling in the case of Charlie, to find out the trustee of his inheritance. His findings lead him to an institution that cares for the developmentally challenged. He meets with Dr. Bruner, played by Gerald Mullen, who sheds some light on the situation.
Whatever this is, I don't understand the point of secrecy. I mean, this patient is an old girlfriend of my father's?
Mr. Babbitt, I knew your father since you were 2 years old.
The year my mother died.
Look, I'm trustee of the fund, but this hospital receives nothing from that.
That hardly seems fair. Maybe that's something that we could discuss.
I took on this burden out of loyalty to your father. That's where my loyalty ends.
And you think I should feel a little of that loyalty?
I think you feel cheated out of your birthright by a man who had difficulty showing love. And I think if I were in your shoes, I'd probably feel the same.
Now, I was hoping that we could talk, that you would explain my father's side of it, help me understand the right and what he's done, because failing that, I have responsibilities of my own, and they have to be met, even if that means a fight.
I'm sorry, this is not your car, it's my boyfriend's.
Yeah, my dad lets me drive slow on the driveway. I'm an excellent driver.
But are you sure that you drive this car?
There's only 28 miles on the odometer since I drove it a week ago last Saturday. Should be more than 28 miles.
Look, my boyfriend is coming.
Of course, today's Monday. I always drive the car on Saturday. I never drive on Monday.
What is this? Who is this guy?
I don't know, he jumped into the car.
There, we can jump out.
I'm an excellent driver.
Yeah, that's good. Come on. Why'd you let him get in this car? This is not a toy.
He says he drives this car.
Dad lets me drive slow on the driveway every Saturday. Of course, the seats were originally brown leather. Now they're pitiful red.
You know, these seats were brown leather. You know this car?
I know this car.
How do you know this car?
Definitely know this car. It's 1949 Buick Roadmaster, straight 8, Fireball 8. Only only 8,095 production models. Dad lets me drive slow on the driveway, but not on Monday. Definitely not on Monday.
Who's your dad?
Sanford Babbitt.
Who? Sanford Babbitt?
10961 Beachcrest Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's my address. I mean, what is it with this guy? Hey, who's your mother?
Eleanor Babbitt.
Eleanor?
Died January 5th, 1965 after a short
Who the
sudden
hell are
illness.
you?
Uh-oh.
Huh? Oh, wait a second. Where are you going?
13 minutes to Judge Wapner, the
Wapner?
People's Court.
Hold on, wait a second here. I want to ask you a question.
But you're witnessing a real. Participants are not actors.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
Litigants with case pending, California.
Bruner.
Court.
Who is this guy?
We dismissed him.
Raymond is your brother.
Now the dispute settled here on forum. People's Court.
My brother? I don't have a brother.
Dismissed in court cases and have their disputes settled here in our forum, the People's Court. Da-da-da-da. People's Court. Da-da-da-da. The People's Court.
If you're Charlie, as much of a jerk he can be, that's a lot to take in at once. His estranged father had just died. You learn about the complications of the large estate, and then to top it off, he discovers he's had a brother he's never known about. In this one scene, it also sets the tone of Dustin Hoffman being simply perfect in every scene he appears during the film. You just can't wait to see what he'll say or do in a situation playing Raymond. I'm sure the film also did wonders for the ratings of the People's Court.
The People's Court. Hello, I'm Doug Llewellyn, and welcome to the People's Court. This is the case...
What, is he crazy?
No,
Is he retarded?
not exactly.
Well, he's not crazy, he's not retarded, but he's here.
Well, he's an autistic savant.
I don't know what that means.
Well, some people like him used to be called idiot savants. They have certain deficiencies, certain abilities.
Yeah, but he's retarded.
Autistic, actually high functioning.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that there's a disability that impairs the sensory input and how it's processed.
English here, you're talking over my head.
Well, Raymond has a problem communicating and learning. He can't even express himself or probably even understand his own emotions in a traditional way.
With the clipboard. And after that, the dog bit him. I yelled at my dog. The dog laid down.
There are dangers everywhere for Raymond. Routines, rituals. It's all he has to protect himself.
Rituals, that's a good one.
Well, it's the way he acts, sleeps, eats, uses the bathroom, walks, talks, everything. Any break in the routines, and it's terrifying.
How long has he been here?
Well, let's see, I came here in 1960.
No, how old is he?
Well, he was 18 or 20 then. I'd have to check the records.
And you've been here that long?
That's when I actually started.
Yeah, so that's 65, 75, 85, I guess. I was almost 3 years old, and you knew he had a brother. You knew I was his brother.
Yes, but what's the point?
What's the point? What's the fucking point? Is why didn't anybody tell me I had a brother?
What would you have done about it?
I don't know. Does he know how much money he's been left?
No, he doesn't understand the concept of money.
He doesn't understand the concept of money. He's just inherited $3 million. He doesn't understand the concept of money. That's fucking poetic, don't you think? Good old Dad.
Fellow's name's yes, then who's playing first? Yes. I mean the fellow's name on first base. Who? The fellow playing first base for St. Louis. Who? What are you asking me for?
What is this? Why is he doing that?
Who's on first?
Whenever he gets nervous, he does who's on first. You know, from Abbott and Costello?
Yeah, why?
Who's on first?
Why? It's his way of dealing with you touching things. His books and stuff.
First.
So he memorized who's on first.
First, yes.
Yeah, that among other things.
Raymond. Ted Kluzewski.
Kluszewski.
Kluzewski.
Ted Kluszewski. Big clue, first base.
He played for Cincinnati?
Of course, he was traded for Defondi, 1957. Lifetime batting average,
All these
298.
great books he reads,
big
huh?
clue.
Reads and remembers whatever he gets his hands on.
Vern, V-E-R, and of course, these people are going to be here all day, Vern. This is an unannounced visit, Vern. This is definitely not a weekend visit, Vern.
He's getting anxious. It's okay, Ray.
Vern. V-E-R, this is an unannounced visit, Vern.
Put it back. He said not to touch the books.
Not to touch books.
You like Shakespeare, Ray?
I don't know.
Did you read all this?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Vern.
Did you read Macbeth?
I don't know, Vern.
You read Hamlet?
I don't know, Vern.
Read The Twelfth Night?
Stop it.
Yes.
Yes.
You read all these stories that are in this book, and you don't know if you read the book.
I don't know, V-E-R-N.
You don't know.
Maybe you better put it back.
You don't know. Okay, no, Ray, take it easy. I'm not gonna... I won't touch anything else, Ray. Just...
It's okay, Ray. It's okay. Come on. My main man.
Yeah, Vern, my main man. My main man, Vern.
It's okay, Ray.
Yeah.
My main man.
Yeah, my main man.
Here's your cards. I'm sorry, I didn't know where you want me to put.
Are you taking any prescription medication?
He likes you. That's just his way of showing it.
Uh-oh.
When I touched him before, he pulled away.
Nah, don't take it personal. You never touched me. I'm closer to him than anybody in the world. Known him for 9 years. It's not in him. If I left town tomorrow and didn't say goodbye, he'd never noticed.
You wouldn't notice if you lived.
I'm not sure, but I don't think people are his first priority.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Ray, you want to go take a walk? Ray? Ray? Can he hear us when he's like that?
Hey, man, you want to show your brother your ducks?
Of course, it's 27 minutes of jeopardy.
Don't worry, Ray. We'll bring you right back.
Practically 26 minutes of jeopardy.
We'll bring him right back.
26 minutes of jeopardy.
I think one of the frustrating things about the Charlie character is the initial lack of empathy he has towards Raymond and his trades. Now look, nobody can understand what it's like to be in the mind of Raymond, or someone that has autism. But Charlie's arrogance of not respecting the routines or the specific items that Raymond has and needs kind of shows the type of person that Charlie is early on in this film. So Charlie goes on a walk with Raymond to watch the ducks in a pond.
I won't do it. First of all, because of this tone of voice, this commanding.
You're upset.
And
Just
second
calm
thing
down.
is
Look,
because you don't
Raymond,
tell me why.
Raymond, I'm gonna talk to Susanna alone.
Barry.
Susanna, just hold on. Okay, well, I'll be right back. Just stay. Just stay there. No, Raymond. Just stay there. Just stand still. Okay? That's good.
Okay, I'll do it if you tell me why. Why do I do...
What?
Why do I have to take the car and go down there and wait for you again at the gate? I've been waiting for you for days.
No.
Why?
It's for Raymond. The car disturbs him.
That's why.
That's why.
Okay, cuts.
Okay, Raymond. What are you looking at, Ray? Ray, the ducks are over here. What are you looking at?
I don't know.
Listen, our father died. You know that he died last week? Did they tell you that?
I don't know.
You don't know if they told you, or you don't know what dead is? That means he's gone. He's not with us anymore. He's at the cemetery. You wanna go see him at the cemetery, Ray?
I don't know.
Does that mean maybe? Does that mean maybe you want to go?
I don't know.
You know, I live in Los Angeles. I thought maybe you go to Los Angeles, like to see a Dodger game. Go see the Dodgers play.
Today's an off day.
Oh, we don't have to go today.
Monday, no game scheduled.
Just thought maybe you'd like to go to Los Angeles with me. You know, go see Fernando Valenzuela pitch.
Fernando Valenzuela pitch Saturday, not scheduled for pitch till Wednesday.
He's going to pitch on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Well, I'm not doing anything on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Let's go to L.A.
Yeah.
Come on, Ray.
Of course, it's a long way to California, and I'm definitely not supposed to be off the grounds for more than 2 hours. Definitely have to be back in 2 hours.
Well, wait till you get there. The people,
definitely not supposed to be
crowds
off
cheering.
the grounds.
You'll love
I
it.
have to be back in 2 hours.
And just like that, Charlie effectively kidnaps Raymond, and Susanna isn't thrilled about this. Now, I love that Raymond knew exactly the schedule for not only the Los Angeles Dodgers, but when Fernando Valenzuela was pitching. Anyone who's a hardcore baseball fan could appreciate this type of memory that Raymond has for these details. They check into a hotel, and Raymond is uncomfortable being in a new place, especially when his routines have been affected after spending essentially his entire life at the institution.
There's a presidential suite.
Dinner's at 6:30 p.m.
And to the left is Raymond's room. Look at this big, beautiful room. All right?
This is not my room. This is definitely not my room.
It's just for tonight, right?
I have to go back to Walbrook
Whoa,
for dinner.
little guy. Whoa. This is going to be terrific. We're brothers. Dr. Burden wants to spend time together. We're going to have some fun.
When did you say?
He said that.
Of course, I don't have my tapioca pudding. We have tapioca pudding for dessert.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we can do that. We can work tapioca pudding. I'm going to call Lenny.
Of course, it's definitely not my room, and I don't have my tapioca pudding, and the bed's in the wrong place. That's definitely not my
You
bed.
don't like it there, you can move it.
Why do you want the bed?
Should be near the window. Of course, I don't have my books, and of course, there are no bookshelves. I'm definitely
No books?
out of books. I'm going to be bookless.
Oh, here's a book. Big telephone book, huh? A lot of words. Lenny.
pick up, will you, Lenny? I got $200,000 about to go in a shit house, and he doesn't want to answer the phone. What is it? 6 here, that means it's 9 there, huh, Susanna?
No, it's 3 there.
6:30 p.m. is dinner.
There's 3 there.
Definitely
It's
6:30.
3 o'clock. He doesn't want to answer the phone?
Orange soda. Has to be in a can with a straw. Room temperature.
Bruner told you that you should do this?
Huh?
It doesn't make sense to me.
I know what's good for him.
Uh-oh, V-E-R-N.
Oh, God. Go see what he's doing, will you?
Ray?
V-E-R-N, home.
What is it, Ray, huh?
What's happening, Holmes? Uh-oh.
Fine. Everything is fine. Charlie, let's take him home. Come on.
No, he's okay. Just get him some dinner. He'll be all right. What'd you say? You wanted hamburger? Hamburger, Ray, huh?
Because we have pepperoni pizza Monday night for dinner.
Pizza? You got pizza in the institution?
Of course, Monday night's Italian night.
Yeah, give me Stu, this Charlie Babbitt calling.
I'm sorry, he's not here.
Where is he? I got a bit of a legal problem here.
He's out of town until tomorrow afternoon.
All right, I'll call him tomorrow.
Definitely not.
Yes, but we can watch TV here. We can. We're allowed.
Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. Look at this studio filled with glamorous merchandise. Fabulous and exciting bonus prizes. A pair of cars for today's busy couple. Thousands of dollars in cash. Over $150,000 just waiting to be won as we present our big bonanza of cash on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, roast service, sweet 21. I'd like to order a large pizza. Well, pepperoni, right?
No, I don't want pepperoni.
Yeah, that's right. Large pepperoni, huh? How long is it going to take? Well, bring some beer out for 2 and orange soda. Tapioca pudding? You got tapioca pudding? Well, just bring the closest thing. All right, great.
Here, Ray. Take this, and food is coming right, shortly.
Yeah.
And I'll be right back.
Yeah. Of course, I'm going to be here for a long time, a very long time. Of course, I'm gone for good. I'm gone for good from
Because of his fondness of television and his favorite shows, Raymond is able to relax a bit in a new place. However, when he hears moaning coming from the other room, it's such a priceless scene as he mimics the sounds he hears, which of course is Susanna and Charlie in the middle of having sex. It's just like a kid hearing or seeing things for the first time. Raymond ends up getting distracted by the television in the room and then sits on the edge of the bed. And typical for Charlie, instead of seeing the humor of the situation, he gets pissed and yells at Raymond. Susanna, on the other hand, is reasonable and tells him to stop and go talk to Raymond since he has no idea what's going on.
Oh, see.
What is that?
I think Raymond is in the room.
What? Raymond, are you in here?
Charlie Babbitt.
Well, get out! Get out! Go!
Stop it.
Uh-oh.
Jesus
Stop it. Go in there with him. Come on, Charlie, go in there. He's your brother.
Why?
He's afraid. He doesn't understand this. Come on. Go in there.
Raymond, what were you doing in my room? Raymond, what were you doing in my room?
I don't know.
You don't know what you were doing in my room.
Of course, there were noises.
There were noises. Well, those noises are none of your business. You understand that? Huh? Put the phone book down, stop acting like an idiot, and go to sleep. Hey, you hear what I said? Go to sleep. Go to sleep!
Of course, it's 9 minutes to 11. Lights out at 11.
Yeah, well, new rules.
Again, Charlie is a complete asshole and so self-centered, it's almost angering to watch.
Ah, You don't listen to me. You don't listen to me. This is...
What? What are you talking about?
I asked you to go there and apologize.
Huh?
You went there and you insulted him again.
What am I supposed to do, Tucker, man? I'm not his mother, for Christ's sake.
Charlie, you're his brother. His brother. They tell you today for the first time that you have a brother. And I don't see in your face one little reaction. I'm not saying joy. I'm saying something.
Take it easy. You don't know what I'm going through here.
No, I don't know what you're going through. What are you going through? Because I don't know. Because you don't tell me anything. You just give me lies. Yes.
Lies. What lies? What lies?
This thing that Dr. Bruner asked you to bring him here, this is bullshit. I know it's not true. So why don't you tell me why is he here?
Because I'm pissed at him.
At all?
I'm my father.
You're pissed at your father and you bring Raymond here. Why?
I don't know why. Because I got him and they want him.
This makes no sense.
Raymond was left all the money and I got nothing.
How much?
$3 million the inheritance, every penny of it.
So?
So I'm going to keep him till I get my half. I deserve that. What is this? Huh? Susanna. Just take it easy here. What? You've had enough? What does that mean, you've had
I
enough?
just had enough. I'm leaving.
You're leaving?
Yes.
You're leaving me now? I need you. I need you now.
You need nobody.
What does that mean? What? Just take it easy. What is my crime here, huh?
Your crime
What is my goddamn
people.
crime?
You use people. You're using Raymond. You're using me. You use everybody.
I'm using Raymond. Raymond, am I using you? Am I using you, Raymond?
Yeah.
Shut up! He is answering a question from a half hour ago. What good is $3 million to him? That money is only just going to sit there for the rest of his life, and I need that money. You know I need that money.
You need them, so it's hardly like stealing, no? And when it's over, what happens to Raymond?
Well, he'll go back to Walbrook or a better place. No, with the money, I will put him in a better place. What difference does it make? He is going to be just the same.
Only you have his money.
His money.
Yeah.
His money. That man was my father, too. What about my fucking half? Where's my fucking half? I'm entitled to that money, goddammit.
You kidnapped this man.
I did not take him.
Yes, you did.
I did not take him. I took my half.
Chub, you're crazy.
Yeah, it runs in the family. What? You're wet. Soaking wet and you're going to leave in the middle of the night. Would you just wait? My father has stuck it to me all my life. And what do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Every dollar, why not? Who is? Yes. So who gets it? Why should? Sometimes it's white, black. Yes. Absolutely. All families find out what's their name in the first place. What's the right thing to say? I'm not asking you who's on second, who's on first.
With Susanna now gone, Charlie takes Raymond to a diner the next morning.
First, captain, you pay off the first place you have to get some number on the man's entitled to. Gets it. I should. Sometimes his wife comes down first.
Stop it.
Good morning. Coffee?
Yes, that'd be good.
Sally Tibbs, Sally. 461-0192.
How did you know my phone number?
How'd you know that?
I said read the telephone book last night. Tibbs, Sally. 461-0192.
He remembers things, little things sometimes.
Very clever, boys. I'll be right back.
How'd you do that?
I don't know.
You memorize the whole book?
No.
You start from the beginning?
Yeah.
How far did you get?
G.
G?
G, God's sake. William Marsh, God's sake.
You memorized to G?
Yeah, G.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
G, half a G.
That's good, Ray.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We hungry?
Yeah, Tuesday we have pancakes.
Pancakes? Well,
Yeah.
that sounds good. We'll get some pancakes.
Maple syrup.
Yeah, you bet your butt.
Bet your butt. Uh-oh.
We got pancakes.
Uh-oh. Of course,
What is this, Ray?
Of course, I don't have my toothpicks.
No, you don't need toothpicks. I was okay in the hotel last night with the pizza, but in a restaurant, you need a fork.
Of course, I don't have my toothpicks.
You don't need toothpicks, Ray. The pancakes keep sliding off. You're gonna eat with a fork.
I don't have my maple syrup either. I'm gonna be without my maple syrup and my toothpicks.
You don't see any pancakes, do you, Ray?
Of course, yeah, promise maple syrup is not here.
Ray, when we order the pancakes, they're gonna bring the maple syrup.
Maple syrup is supposed to be on the table before the pancakes.
We haven't ordered yet, Ray.
Of course, when they bring the maple syrup after the pancakes, it'll definitely be too late.
How is that gonna be too late, huh, Ray? We haven't ordered the pancakes yet. How is that gonna be?
We're gonna be here the entire morning with no maple syrup
Right.
and no toothpicks. I'm definitely not gonna have my pancakes with Ow!
Don't make a scene.
Ow!
Stop acting like a fucking retard.
Uh-oh.
What is this? What are you writing? What is it? What the fuck is this? Serious injury list? Charlie Babbitt?
Yeah.
Serious injury list? Are you fucking kidding me?
Number 18 in 1988. Squeezed and pulled and hurt my neck in 1988.
Squeezed and pulled and hurt your neck in 1988. Dr. Brenner's Charlie Babbitt.
Where are you, son?
It's not important. What matters is who I'm with.
You have to bring him back, Mr. Babbitt. Do you understand me?
There's no problem whatsoever. It'll be $1.5 million. I'm not greedy. I just want my half. Raymond, don't touch that. It's dirty.
I can't do that, Mr. Babbitt. You know I can't. Just bring him back and bring him back now. This is where he belongs.
Well, I'm his brother. It's not like kidnapping here, is it?
He's always been a voluntary patient here, but that's beside the point. The fact of the matter is, this is where he can get the best care. We're talking about his well-being.
Yeah. Let's just cut through the bullshit, okay? Now, I am entitled to part of my father's estate. If you don't want to cut a deal with me, I'll fly him back to Los Angeles. We'll stick him in an institution out there, and we can have a custody battle over him. Miss, he needs toothpicks. Could you help him and get him some toothpicks? Thank you very much. Now, you want to battle me in the courts? Think about that. Dr. Brenner, think about that. Or we can cut a deal right now.
I don't think you have any idea of the severity of Raymond's condition.
Look, toothpicks. He needs some toothpicks. Can we just get him some toothpicks over here?
And I cannot, under any circumstances, make any money deals with you.
Then I'll see you in court. Another check. Sorry about the toothpicks.
82.
82 what, Ray? How much is this?
Toothpicks.
It's a lot more than 82 toothpicks, Ray.
Plus 246 total.
The change. Ray, how many toothpicks are you?
250.
Pretty close. Come on, let's go, Ray.
246.
There's 4 left in the box.
I have to get my backpack.
And it's the surprising traits like this that makes Raymond so fascinating. He's not quote-unquote normal by any societal standards, but he has the gifts that quote-unquote normal people simply don't possess. However, Raymond can't function on his own and do everyday routine things. And Raymond is one of the few people that Charlie can't con because Raymond won't change, which frustrates Charlie beyond belief. And by the way, the waitress in that restaurant scene was played by Bonnie Hunt in her film debut. Now, even though Raymond is sweet and harmless and can't help how his brain works differently, that doesn't mean that his quirks wouldn't be annoying to even the most patient person.
97X, the future of rock and roll.
97X, bam, the future of rock and roll. 97X, bam, the future of rock and roll. 97X, bam, the future of rock and roll.
Ray, enough already.
97X, bam, the future of rock and roll. 97X, bam, the future of...
Charlie and Raymond go to the airport for their flight to Los Angeles, but little does Charlie know about the airline they're going to take for the flight and the dangers of air travel in general. So Raymond decides to clue him in.
Lenny, I don't care what you think. Did they say that? You're going to have to be a lot more forceful with them. Lenny, listen, Lenny, shut up a moment here. I am in serious trouble here. I can't get to these cars. I can't get the money. Do you understand that? My loan is past due.
Look, I'll call the loan officer.
Lenny.
We have a little problem. Listen, Charlie, let me talk.
Lenny, just listen to me. I'll be in LAX in 3 hours, okay? Now remember, the Buick is an A3 main terminal. Make sure they pick it up. All right? Well, all right. We'll see you in a few. Raymond, let's go. Ray, let's go. Come on. What are you watching, Ray?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Final call for flight 1559, service to Salt Lake City and Los Angeles. Now
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, because there's an airplane out there.
Yeah, that's right, and everybody's boarding. Let's go.
Airline travel is very dangerous.
But don't be silly. It's the safest travel in the world. You're gonna love this. Trust me.
Yeah.
Now, come on.
Oh, no.
Ray.
Yeah.
We're in an airport. People fly out of airports. What do you think we were doing here this whole time?
Yeah, flying's very dangerous. 1987, there were 30 airline accidents. 211 were fatalities. 231 were definite passengers.
Well, this plane is very safe, believe me. Now, I gotta get to LA and I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
What, is it this airline?
Yeah.
Is it this airline?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We can, there's an American plane.
American Flight 625 crashed April 27th, 1976.
We don't have to take American. There's a lot of flights.
Yeah, pick another airline.
Continental. We'll take the
Continental crashed November 15th, 1987. Flight 1713, 28 casualties.
This is very serious, Ray.
Yeah, very serious.
You see, I have to get to Los Angeles, all right? So you're gonna get on that plane. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get on a plane.
Yeah, get on a plane.
Yeah. Now there's a Delta.
Yeah.
I mean, it leaves at midnight, Ray, you know, but Delta, how's Delta?
The Delta crashed August 2nd, 1985, Lockheed L-1011, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Ray.
Terrible wind.
All airlines.
135 passengers.
All airlines have crashed at one time or another. That doesn't mean that they are not safe.
Qantas.
Qantas?
Qantas never crashed.
Qantas?
Never crashed.
Well, that's...
Never crashed.
I mean, that's gonna do me a lot of good, Ray.
Yeah.
You see, Qantas doesn't fly to LA out of Cincinnati. You have got to get to Melbourne.
Australia.
Melbourne, Australia, in order to get the plane that flies to Los Angeles. Do you hear me?
Canberra's a capital. 16.2 million population. It's very
Don't
lovely
give me a
beach.
hard time. You and I are gonna get on this fucking plane. Right? We're not going to take the plane. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. We're not going to take the plane. Just relax. Just relax. He was upset. We were going to take the plane. We're not going to take the plane now. We're not going to take the plane, Ray. We're not going to fly. Okay?
No flying.
We're not going to fly.
No flying.
You tire me, Ray.
Yeah.
We're going to drive to Los Angeles. We're going to drive to LA. Okay? Come on, Ray. Ray? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Here.
No flying.
Take the bag. We're not going to take the plane, Ray. Just grab the fucking bag.
No flying.
You're killing me, Ray. I just want you to know you are killing me, man.
No flying.
I got to be in LA in 3 hours. It's going to take me 3 days. Come on. Come on.
No flying.
No flying.
No flying. Of course, I got Jeopardy at 5 o'clock. I'll watch Jeopardy.
Don't start with that, Ray. Don't
Got
start.
Jeopardy at 5 o'clock.
So Raymond definitely has the ability to get his own way, whether he realizes what he's doing or not. So no flying, even though it's far safer than driving cross country. I guess Raymond didn't read the driving statistics. Well, Raymond gets some first-hand knowledge about the dangers of driving when they're stuck in traffic after a serious car accident. Raymond panics and gets out of the car and walks around the accident scene on the highway, which is not good, obviously. Raymond ends up walking on the side of the highway and is eventually picked up by Charlie on a quote-unquote safer road. All the while, Raymond recites who's on first because that's what he does when he's anxious or nervous. Because Raymond has to be in bed by 11 p.m., they stop at a small motel for the night in Missouri. However, the next morning it's raining, and Raymond won't go out if it rains. And it's in this scene that makes this film so wonderful. The plot is basic, but it's the side vignettes that are great. For example, Raymond will only eat whatever food is normally served to him on specific days. That's why they had pizza on Monday and pancakes on Tuesday. So for Wednesday, for lunch, he needs to eat fish sticks, which isn't super easy to find, but Charlie does it for Raymond. But there's only 4 sticks, so Charlie quickly solves the problem by cutting them in half. During this rainy hotel stay, Charlie discovers that he can actually get legal custody of Raymond since the doctor at the institution doesn't actually have custody, and it wasn't something that Charlie's father ever set up. But he didn't expect Charlie to take his own brother ransom for his inheritance, so that's Charlie's play. If he has custody, he'll be in control of all the estate money. After the rain stops, it's back on the road, and Raymond informs Charlie he's an excellent driver, along with his undergarment preference.
Would you look at that? 1957 Studebaker Golden Hawk. 0 to 60 in under 8 seconds. 275 supercharged horsepower into that hood. That's beautiful.
Of course, I'm an excellent driver.
You know how to drive?
Yeah.
When did you drive?
Of course, I drove the Buick on the driveway when my dad came to Walbrook.
Dad in the car? Was Dad in the car already?
Yeah.
And he let you drive the Buick?
Yeah, slow on the driveway.
Well, we'll have to let you drive sometime. Raymond! You never touch the steering wheel when I'm driving. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Of course, I don't have my underwear.
What?
I'm definitely not wearing my underwear.
What are you talking about? I gave you a fresh pair of mine this morning.
No, not my underwear.
I told you to go in the bathroom and put them on. Where are they?
Of course, they're in the pocket of my jacket.
Where?
Here. These are too tight.
I don't want them back, Ray.
These are not boxer shorts. Mine are boxer shorts.
Well, what's the difference?
These are Hanes
Underwear is
32.
underwear, right?
These are Hanes 32. My boxer shorts have my name and it says Rain.
Well, all right. When we pass the store, we'll pick you up a pair of boxer shorts.
I get my boxer shorts at Kmart in Cincinnati.
We're not going back to Cincinnati, Ray, so don't even start with that.
400 Oak Street.
We're not going back to Cincinnati. You don't have to go to Cincinnati to pick up boxer shorts.
That's Oak and Burnett in Cincinnati.
What did I say, Ray?
It's Kmart.
You hear me. I know you hear me.
My boxer shorts have
Don't
my...
fool me with this shit for a second.
Yours are too tight.
Ray, did you fucking hear what I said? Shut up!
Cincinnati's a long way off. You're getting further away from Kmart.
You don't have to go to Cincinnati to get a pair of underwear at Kmart.
You have to go to Kmart, 400 Oak Street.
What I tell you, Ray, we are not going to Cincinnati, and that's final.
Get my boxer shorts at Kmart.
Raymond, that is final. Did you hear me?
I'm going to be shortless.
Minute alone. Mom! What difference does it make? What difference does it make where you buy underwear? Hey. What difference does it make? Underwear is underwear. It is underwear wherever you buy it. In Cincinnati or wherever.
Kmart.
You know what I think?
Kmart.
You know what I think, Ray? I think this autism is a bunch of shit. Because you can't tell me that you're not in there somewhere.
Boxer shorts. Boxer shorts at Kmart. These are Hanes 32.
You're driving me crazy.
Mine are boxer shorts.
We're gonna have to make a little stop. Find a psychiatrist.
You are driving back to Cincinnati. That's the shorts are.
You are driving
We have to buy them at Kmart. Oak and Burnett. We have to buy them back. Uh-oh. Put your shorts are on the highway. We have to go back to Cincinnati. Kmart.
As a kid, that was my favorite scene by far. I mean, everything from boxer shorts in Cincinnati to the mantra of Kmart. It was often quoted by me and my friends. The way that Tom Cruise just loses it is so priceless. It's like a master comedy duo in the last scene. But it's also a key scene because Charlie might finally discover that no matter how angry he gets or how much he screams at Raymond, it won't change Raymond's trades. So Charlie decides to stop in a small town in Oklahoma to see if he can meet with a psychiatrist to help with Raymond. He parks and goes to a phone booth, leaving Raymond in the car alone, which is never a good idea.
Good luck trying to find a shrink in this town.
Raymond?
Dipshit, move it! Hey! You ain't gonna move, I'll move you. Hey, buddy, hey, you! You gonna get run over out here. Come on, you're gonna get hurt. Come on. Hey, you. Hey, you hear me? Hey. Move it.
Hey, no, it's all right, sir. I'm sorry, he's got it. Raymond?
Yeah.
Raymond, come on.
All right.
It's all right.
Gotta get to Kmart. Gotta get to Kmart.
Raymond, come on.
Kmart, 400 Oak Street.
Yes.
It said don't walk.
Yes, it's broken.
It said don't walk.
Great.
Have to get to Kmart.
Yep.
400 Oak and Burnett.
Raymond followed the signs that said walk, then don't walk. But he doesn't realize that he stopped in the middle of the road with oncoming traffic because he has no sense of his surroundings. This is why he has been kept in a place where he knows the same routines and he's safe. It keeps him safe. What Charlie doesn't realize by simply going to any sort of general doctor is that in many medical professionals at the time, they didn't have the widespread expertise about autism. This is why Raymond was living in a specific place that understood his condition, like the nurse questioning if Raymond is autistic.
So young man, go west, and this is the way our country developed, from the East Coast to the West Coast. During that period of time, there was initiated what was known as a Pony Express. I'm sure all of you read something about it in the history of the United States. I may not have the days exactly right or the years, but I'm more or less familiar with the history of the United States. And I love to tell a story
He's
of the Pony
artistic?
Express.
No, he's autistic.
And it was initiated.
I'm not familiar with that. What is the exact nature of the
St.
problem?
Joseph, Missouri.
He lives in a world of his own.
And the purpose
I'm
of
sorry,
it was to
but what's
speed
wrong
up the
with
movement of mail. It was a problem getting the mail from the East Coast.
Raymond, do a little of your what's on first.
Who's on first? What's on second?
Huh?
And they set out a initial program where a Pony Express would ride for approximately 20 miles. Fast.
Well, what am I supposed to do? There's got to be something that I can do here.
Well, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I do know that his brain doesn't work like other people. And what he does isn't intended to be annoying. If he's getting on your nerves, you just take a break. Spend some time away from him.
Sure, I'll just send him back.
Sorry?
No, it's just inside jokes. You're telling me I just have to deal with this stuff. Is that I just got to deal with this stuff?
Yeah, that's about it. Out of curiosity, does he have any special abilities?
Well, I mean, he's got a pretty good memory. He can counts toothpicks.
Huh?
Toothpicks. They spilled a box of toothpicks on the floor, and he took one look at them, knew exactly how many there were, and he counted them in seconds.
Huh. Ray. Raymond.
Yeah?
Are you good with numbers?
Yeah.
I read about this. I'm gonna try something here.
Kmart, 400 Oak Street.
What'd I tell you after this, Ray? After this.
Ray, can we try something?
Yeah.
Do you know how much 312 times 123 is?
38376.
He's right.
What?
He's right.
He's right?
Yeah. Ray, how much is 4,343 times 1,234?
5359262.
He's a genius.
He's right.
He's a genius.
Ray, do you know how much the square root of 2,130 is?
46.15192304. 2304.
That's amazing. I mean, that is amazing. He should work for NASA or something like that.
If you had $1 and you spent 50 cents, how much money would you have left?
About 70.
70 cents?
70 cents.
So much for the NASA idea.
Go to Kmart. You should go to
What
Kmart.
did I tell you after this, Ray?
Ray.
After this.
400 Oak Street.
Ray, do you know how much a candy bar costs?
About $100.
$100, huh?
Yeah.
You know how much one of those new compact cars costs?
About $100.
In his particular case, he's pretty well off. He's very high functioning. Most autistics, they can't speak or they can't communicate. Ray.
Yeah.
Do you know what autistic is?
Yeah.
You know that word?
Yeah.
Are you autistic?
I don't think so. No. Definitely not.
So that elderly man in the waiting room who talks on and on about the Pony Express is Byron P. Kavnar. He was an 89-year-old local who was in the waiting room when the crew arrived to film there. He got to talking about his favorite subject, the Pony Express, and Barry Levinson got such a kick out of it that he left Kavnar keep on talking and the cameras rolled. All of his dialogue was spontaneous and not scripted. After leaving the doctor's office, it's back on the road, and Charlie makes sure not to leave Raymond alone again when he stops at another phone booth. But then there's complications with that, along with the fact that Raymond can never miss Judge Wapner on the television.
No, Lenny, just shut up a second. Let me see if I understand this.
Very small.
It's going to cost me $10,000 additional for each car.
Of course, it's very crowded.
Is that Ray? Just
crowded
please,
in here.
One little second, okay?
Yeah.
Huh? What? Yeah, well, they want to take out the manifold and the carburetors in order to put in a fuel injection system now? I mean, that is nonsense. This is bullshit. What are you doing?
Too
what are you
crowded
doing?
in here
Yeah,
for a
just
backpack.
leave this on.
Very crowded.
Well, yeah, it's going to cost me $40,000 just to meet EPA now. What? No. You give me the number. Give me the number and I'm going to call the conversion shop.
That's my pen, and that's definitely my book.
Well, taking your book is not serious injury.
But the serious injury, look at the red book. That book is blue.
Well, forgive me. I lost my secret decoder ring.
For sure. Already number 18.
Yeah, I got it. In 1988.
1988. Because that's my book. That's my pen. Uh-oh. 12 minutes to Wapner. It's definitely very small here.
Small?
Yeah.
And safe.
Yeah,
You don't want to miss the
we're
party.
witnessing is real.
You know that? There's a party in your honor, Ray. When we get to LA, a little custody hearing. My lawyer's setting it up right now. You know why there's a party for you? Because you're the $3 million man.
What you are witnessing is real.
Ken Eldorf.
Participants are not
Charlie Babbitt.
Uh-oh, fart.
Yeah, Charlie Babbitt, I'll hold.
Fart.
Did you fart, Ray?
Fart.
Did you fucking fart?
Fart.
Oh, man. Look at this. How can you stand that?
I don't mind it.
How can you stand it? Yeah, Ken?
10 minutes to Wapner.
Ken, hey, how are you? It's Charlie Babbitt.
We're definitely lost in
I just
this
heard about
box
this
with no TV and
$10,000 charge per car.
Yeah,
Huh? I mean, how can this be? How can this possibly happen right now?
People's court starts on
You know, you're telling me that I need $40,000.
They start on a button. It definitely start on a button.
Ken, I got a problem here. I'm going to have to call you back for my next stop, okay? Yeah, my next stop.
We're not going to make it through the program. Yeah, definitely have to
yes,
go.
we're going, Ray. Just take it easy. Just take it easy. Where am I going to find a television room?
8 minutes to Wapner.
Got 8 minutes to Wapner. Come on. Come on. Now, you want to get in there and see the show? Huh? Huh? Raymond, you want to get in there and see the show? Then listen up. Now, another farmhouse in sight. This is it, man. You act weird, we don't get in. Listen to me?
Yeah.
I want you to look normal. As normal as possible, all right? Look, just Raymond, put your hands down. Go rock and moan.
4 minutes
just
to
shut
Wapner.
up, Raymond. Just shut up and stand there.
Yeah.
Raymond, don't rock and moan.
Yeah.
Put your hands down. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Donald Clemens from the A.C. Nielsen Company. You're familiar with our work?
Nielsen, you mean the TV rating?
Yes, ma'am, that's exactly it. Now, you've been selected as a preliminary candidate to become our next Nielsen family in the Tri-County area.
Well, my husband's not
If selected, you'll share the responsibility for shaping television programming viewed by our entire nation, in return for which you'll receive a check in the amount of $286 each month.
Who's he?
That would be my partner, Mr. Bainbridge, who does, for example... That's it.
Oh, boy.
That's it. You blew it. You don't get to see your program. It's finished.
1 minute to Wapner.
1 minute to Wapner. 1 minute to Wapner. 1 minute to Wapner. I had you in there, Ray. You were in there. Defendants, plaintiffs, you had it all. They are in there making legal history, Ray. Legal history.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What is going on out here?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I lied to you. I'm very sorry about that. That man right there is my brother. And if he doesn't get to watch People's Court in about 30 seconds, he's going to throw a fit right here in your porch. Now, you can help me, or you can stand there and watch it happen.
Well, we like to watch cartoons. You think he'd settle for that?
And she sees an identical twin. True, he didn't have a shirt on, the other one did, but they sure look alike to me. If it got on his chest, even if it didn't burn, it got real cold. I know I put my hand on the dry ice up here. I wanted to take it off very quickly because it got very cold. I also confess I was afraid I might burn my hand. If I take it and put it up against
Barry,
the
listen, you can work with me on this one, and believe me, I am going to take care
I
of
don't
it.
think Lucy did anything that was negligent.
You know that song?
So my judgment is for you.
We'll be back for the reaction and decision right after these messages.
Thankfully, the Midwest hospitality was in full display as they let Raymond watch the People's Court on their TV. Raymond was so blissfully unaware of the crying children because he's so hyper-focused on the show. The guys stop at another small motel for the night, and Charlie unexpectedly learns more about Raymond and his own childhood memories.
Why'd you say funny teeth?
She said funny teeth, funny Rain Man.
Rain Man?
Yeah.
I said Rain Man?
Yeah, funny Rain Man.
Was I trying to say Raymond and it came out Rain Man?
Yeah, funny Rain Man.
You? You're the Rain Man? Who took this picture?
TAD.
And you lived with this?
Yeah, 10961 Beechcrest Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
When did you leave?
January 21st, 1965.
You remember that?
It's Thursday, very snowy out. 7.2 inches of snow that day.
Geez, that's just after Mom died, New Year's.
Yeah, Mom died January 5th, 1965.
And you remember that day? You remember that day that you left?
Short and sudden illness.
You remember that day that you left?
Yeah.
Was I there? Where was I?
You were in the window. You waved to me. Bye-bye, Rain Man. Bye-bye, Rain Man.
So you were the one that sang to me?
Yeah.
What did you sing? What was that song? What did you sing? What?
She was just 17, and you know what I mean. And the way she looked was way beyond compare.
So how could I dance
with another? Ooh, I saw her standing there. Dun, 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 dun.
Did I like it when you sang to me?
Yeah.
Do we sing any other songs? You like the Beatles?
Yeah.
Scary! Oh, it's a scary man! Scary man! Oh, it's a scary big man!
What's scary man?
How water, baby! Water!
Hot water burn baby? What baby? Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Easy.
Water.
Ray.
How water?
Easy, Ray.
Burn, baby.
I'm not burned.
Yeah.
Ray, look at me, please.
Water burn,
Ray,
baby.
please.
How water?
I'm not burned.
How burn, baby.
I'm not burned, man.
How burn, baby.
I'm not burned.
Yeah.
I'm not burned. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Gotta go Walbrook now.
That's why I put you away. Thought you hurt me. What? What, Ray? What? Come on. It's 11 o'clock, Ray. Lights out.
Yeah. Never hurt Charlie Pap. Never hurt Charlie Pap.
Here you go, right where you like it, 18 in the bed. Yeah?
While the entire movie is filled with brilliant scenes, that last one summed up the entire film and, of course, the title. Rain Man was the way that Charlie, as a toddler, would pronounce Raymond, a person that Charlie, for his whole life, thought was an imaginary friend. And though it's spoken quietly, Charlie's father, after the sudden loss of his wife, knew it could be potentially dangerous having the much older Raymond in the house with a toddler. This is why Raymond was put into an institution. Charlie finally realizes that his father wasn't the horrible person he always believed that he was. Alright, there's about an hour left in the film and plenty of fabulous scenes, including the famous one where Charlie uses Raymond's gift of numbers and memorization to count cards in Vegas, which was perfectly parodied in The Hangover. Now look, if you haven't seen Rain Man, I can't spoil the eventual outcome, including if Charlie and Susanna reunite, and where does Raymond finally end up? And would Charlie finally grow up? Or is keeping his business going more important to him, along with his giant inheritance? I will say that the ending is neither happy nor sad, at least for me. I think it's best put by Barry Levinson, who explained that it's a conclusion. Sometimes movies are just like that, and it's left up to the viewer to put their own emotion behind it. It really makes you think when you're done watching, and you know what? That's always a good thing. The movie stays with you. Just for pure acting, Rain Man is as good as it gets. Dustin Hoffman deservedly gets all of the accolades for his amazing performance, but Tom Cruise is equally as brilliant in a very difficult role. In some ways, more difficult than Hoffman's role. If you've yet to see this film, it really is a must-watch, and why films can be very powerful. Rain Man really introduced autism to millions of people who did not know about it. It allowed people to potentially be more empathetic in their real lives about mental disabilities. And again, when you see someone that's physically disabled, it's in front of you for you to see. For mental disabilities, it's not always clear. But before I leave you, just remember this.
Hello, Charlie. Dr. Bruner. Hello, Raymond. You should feel a little more relaxed in your favorite Kmart clothes.
Tell him, Ray. Kmart sucks.
I see.
Alright, there was a deleted scene, and that's where Raymond goes into a convenience store by himself before he ends up in the middle of the street with oncoming traffic. And the clerk is suspicious of Raymond for obvious reasons, as Raymond grabs a bag of cheese poofs and just opens them up and starts to eat them in the store. He then goes to the fridge section to get an apple juice box and opens that as well. Now, the concept of paying for anything just doesn't comprehend to him. He then opens a bag of cookies and accidentally spills them all over. Now, the clerk doesn't understand at all that Raymond isn't like other customers and attempts to hold him in the store for not paying. Raymond thinks this is like being back in the institution where he just opens up a fridge and grabs what he wants. So Charlie then races into the store and overpays the clerk for his trouble while Raymond quickly leaves the store. Alright, some fun facts. So Rain Man was nominated for 8 Oscars and won 4. It won for Best Picture, Best Director for Levinson, Best Actor for Dustin Hoffman, and Best Screenplay. Now it lost Best Score to the Milagro Beanfield War. It lost Best Art Direction to Dangerous Liaisons. It lost Best Cinematography to Mississippi Burning. And it lost Best Film Editing to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Many feel, and I'm definitely one of them, that Tom Cruise should have at least been nominated for his role as Charlie. So the success of Rain Man was not overnight. Each week after its initial release, the box office totals got better and better, and this was due to the word of mouth and people discovering how good this film was. And there's something endearing about that, a film that succeeds on its own merits, not simply due to a marketing hype machine. So back in 1989, for in-flight viewing, several airlines deleted the sequence in which Raymond reels off the statistics on airline accidents, except Qantas. They even promoted one of the movie writers to first class when he traveled on the airline. What Raymond says about Qantas was, and is still true, from 1921 to the recording of this episode, Qantas had never lost any jet airliners. However, Qantas also had 8 non-jet crashes all prior to the making of the film, but they were propeller-driven planes, not jets. So there were other play on words and first-name titles that were thought of, including Norman, like no man, but Rayman, was the obvious winner. The initial script of Rain Man was sent to both Dustin Hoffman and Bill Murray simultaneously. However, the person who sent the script didn't designate a part for either actor. Of course, as it turned out, both wanted the part of Raymond. Hoffman had already signed on almost immediately, which meant Murray was out of luck. During filming, Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise doubted the movie's potential and jokingly called it 2 schmucks in a car. Dennis and Randy Quaid were considered for the Charlie and Raymond roles at one point. Other people that turned down the part of Raymond, Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, and Mel Gibson. Michael Caine has revealed that Tom Cruise's performance in Rain Man was one of his personal favorites he had ever seen on film. Caine found out somewhat late in his adult life that he had a brother that he had never been told about, who had lived most of his life in a mental hospital with a debilitating diagnosis of epilepsy. And so with great sincerity, he said Tom's performance was beautifully done. He went on to say that Dustin had the showy part. Tom's required great discipline and responsibility to draw the viewer into Raymond's point of view, as well as portray the painful acceptance of the limitation of his brother's condition. Really helped that level of familial intimacy. All right, I do have a special guest, and she's been on in the early episodes, and this is my coworker, Chris, who has some real-life insight about autism and some great stories to share with you. So let's talk to Chris, and then I'll be back next week to talk about yet another random movie in my DVD collection. Okay, we're back, and we have a guest that I don't think she's been on for about 4 or 5 years. I think she was on, and she actually sang a song in an early episode.
Oh my God.
What was it, When I Wake Up or something like that? I put on my makeup. I think that's what she sang.
Was it from my best friend's wedding?
I believe so. And I'm trying to remember what the episode was, but I got you to sing for whatever reason.
Okay. I hope you don't have me sing.
No. Well, this isn't a singing type of movie, but it's Chris, and so welcome back, Chris.
Hello. Happy to be here again.
So, can you recall the first time you actually saw Rain Man? And was it, I'm assuming it was on video or cable or something like that?
It was probably one of the streaming platforms still, like maybe a couple of years ago.
Okay, so you
didn't
see it like back in the late 80s, early 90s?
No, I did not. No, I saw it. Yeah.
Was there a reason behind that, or it was just one that you just missed, or you weren't a Tom Cruise fan?
I don't know. It's usually you go by posters, right? At that time, like the 80s, the 90s, you go to a video shop and you just look at the posters and see like which ones look compelling. And probably at that time it wasn't compelling enough, and I didn't really know much about the topic or the main themes of the movie. So,
well, I think this film really introduced autism to many people, because even there's a great line in the film where Tom Cruise's character goes to a doctor, it's just a general practitioner in Oklahoma, and the nurse says he's artistic. Like, they didn't get the difference, because everyone thought when you say autistic, they don't understand. So I don't think that happens as much anymore, but back then in 1988, and especially in certain parts of the country, this wasn't really understood. Autism really wasn't understood, especially autism savants. So the great part about this movie is it really introduced a lot of people to this. Now, there have been some criticisms, about maybe this particular autism that Dustin Hoffman had didn't really portray it for everyone. But since it's a spectrum, I still think it was a good thing. What do you think now watching this? Do you think the movie was more of a positive, or towards the autism in general, or was it's just a movie? It's supposed to be entertaining, but it also kind of educates as well.
So I look at the movie, and yes, I kind of, if we're looking at it as a representation, it's really hard to represent a spectrum, as you said, right? So we're just doing it. So we're just looking at it like a single point of the spectrum, and then we're looking at it at a different time period, right? So I think for that time period, I feel like it was a positive thing, right? To introduce to mainstream and to educate, to give some form of awareness of a different way of thinking, right? But I generally look at it now as more of a story, a good story about family and brotherhood and really taking care of your family. So that's how I see it. So.
Right, and kind of the evolution. It's really the evolution of Tom Cruise's character about having more empathy towards not just his brother, but probably fellow man, because he really was like a wheeling dealer and only cared about himself in the very beginning. Actually, most of the film. So where Dustin Hoffman's character, really, he's the same the entire way through. He doesn't change at all. It's Tom Cruise that changes.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Right. It's how I relate to apart from my son having autism or being autistic. I have a daughter, so it's similar to like having two siblings, right? And one is born into the role of having to be the caregiver of the other two. So I was very appreciative of Tom Cruise's character evolving into that, like that what most parents of autistic kids would hope is for their children to just embrace the other sibling and take care of them, right?
Right.
But Tom Cruise, despite not having had a prior relationship to Dustin Hoffman, eventually towards the end of the movie, right, he does have that connection with him enough to, I feel like he will eventually take care of him, right? It didn't say that in the end, but I just felt like that was going to happen.
Well, at the very least, he's going to visit him, hopefully, and try to establish something on Dustin Hoffman's terms. Because I think that's the one thing that was great about this movie is sometimes you have to just do what that other person can handle. So to try to take Raymond and put him in situations, it's just not going to work. You're not going to change him in any way. So you have to evolve as a person, not the other person, because the other person can't really evolve.
Right. And, I feel also like it's not that they can't evolve. I think they are evolving too. It's just not in like the speed that we want them to, in the way that we expect them to. So, sometimes people think, oh, why, like, for example, my son, right, Santi, like, why can't he stay still? Right? Like, when you talk to him, why can't he stay still? Like, he keeps walking around you while you're talking to him, but that is his way of regulating. So for him, he's already adjusting because he's already trying to get the conversation going with you.
Right.
Maybe he does want to do something else, but he wants to, keep that conversation with you. But, he's adjusting that own way. And for us, it's like, but you're not still, but he's already adjusting. So we don't see that.
So, like for Raymond, for Dustin Hoffman, his calming effect when he's like nervous or anxious was to do the Abbott and Costello routine, "Who's on first," because mentally it's almost like a mantra. So for Santi, it is one of his things that like he likes to just kind of walk around or kind of move, and that helps him like almost calm himself.
Yes, it's like stimulating himself, right? So it's like he's walking around. That's how I feel. And maybe he'll explain it to me better. But as a parent watching him, I feel like there's just so much energy in him that it needs to be released somehow. And that's how he releases it, by moving around while talking to you. Like there's just so much, And he does other things too, but.
So I definitely want to get more. So part of the reason I had you on was also because you do have a son that has autism. And so I wanted to kind of give that insight. But one more quick question about Rain Man is like, so watching it recently, what were some of your favorite scenes? And then what's the, how does the movie affect you more now as opposed to when you first watched it?
I think it affects me more now because I do see more of the sibling relationship. Every time you watch it, like you're a different person, right? So maybe it'll affect me differently again a couple of years from now when Santi's getting a little older.
Sure.
But to answer your question, like a couple of scenes stand out to me. Like one is when they were at the casino, like after they had won so much, and then he wanted to date this lady, right?
Yes, the prostitute that
pick
him up, But he had no idea, obviously.
He had no idea. No. But what stood out to me was that I guess they need connection, right? They're no different from us. They want to have relationships. They want to, they're interested in another person, I don't know, out of love, lust, or whatever it is, right? So I think that stood out for me because I always wonder, like, how, what kind of relationships my son will form, because I know he will want to have one, and is he gonna have one? Will it be successful? Like, so it's because why can't he love too? So I think that's why it kind of stood out for me, because knowing that scene and knowing like, well, it's probably never gonna work out with that particular person, but will it ever work out for Raymond? I think that's what.
Well, I think that's why the Susanna character was so great, because she actually, right off the bat, had empathy for Raymond. They have a nice scene together, obviously, in the elevator. in his own way, Raymond would like kind of bond with her, even if it was funny. Like, are you taking any prescription medication? That was his way of saying, I like you. So
yes. So it's more of like, would you have that? Like, most of us, I would hope, have had the experience of loving someone, right? And in more than a friendship way. So I wonder if they would, like my son, for example, just my son, like, and comparing it with Raymond, like, would he have that kind of relationship?
Sure. And then what was the other scene that really stood out for you?
It was at the doctor's, right? So it was, when Raymond was doing the math problems, and
yes. Mm-hmm.
And Tom Cruise's character goes, well, he should join NASA or yeah. So, and then they start to ask him, well, how much a candy costs or something like that.
Right.
So, and it stood out for me. Like, they have a certain set of strengths, but sometimes just basic survival is really hard for some people on the spectrum. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's get into your son, because I have met Santi, and he's been at work before, and so I have some like kind of fun stories with him. So I think we were in a meeting, and where it used to be in the office, there's a TV right by us, so it was kind of easy for him to be entertained by whatever TV station we had on. Plus, I had a lot of kind of the Funko figurines, and so I think he kind of liked that. And one of the two funny stories. One. So I had to carry Funko from the movie Carrie, where she had kind of pig's blood dumped on her. So he's looking at it and he's like, why does she have blood on her? I'm like, oh, it's just paint. And he's like, he kind of looked at me. He's like, I don't think so. So he didn't buy into that, but I think he appreciated it. So when I got into the office the next day, I found this kind of stuffed like Beanie Baby panda on there, and so I was like, I think Santi left this, so I went to go bring it back to you to get back to him. He's like, and so you're like, no, that's his way of showing that he likes you, because he left it. He didn't have, he'll never actually say that, oh, I had a good time with you. This was his like kind of nice way of saying I like spending time with you, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. He has a different way of showing his appreciation for people.
Well, and I think that's great, because not everyone is going to verbalize it to you, nor should they have to. And so he did it in his own way. So he obviously cares about other people, and he just expresses it different, which I think was really cool. The other great story you just told me not too long ago, I'll let you tell it, about he did really well in school, and so you rewarded him. And so why don't you tell me what his prize was and what he selected?
So I wanted him to do like really good handwriting, because he does have some motor skills challenges.
Sure.
So I really just write very slowly. So anyway, so he did it well. And I told him, well, your daddy's going to get you anything you want. And that was the magic word, anything, right? And then I find out from the dad, like, so what did he get? So I was excited. Like, I hope Santi got like really expensive toy, right?
Sure.
So then, he got an app, a free one. Like, that's why I had to tell his dad, right? Oh my gosh. I don't accept that. I will talk to Santi and discuss like how to take advantage of those opportunities to get an expensive.
What I love about the story is, one, he picked what he wanted, so he didn't care if it was free or if it cost $1,000, which I think is really endearing in some ways. That it didn't matter the cost to him; he just wanted something he liked, and so I thought that was a funny, but it was really kind of a awesome story in many ways.
Yeah, and it also, I think, yes, as you say, like, it's just very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, going back to Raymond, right? Like, just not knowing when this is your time, right? Like, this is like basic survival, right? When the moment is there to get what you want, you grab it, right? And a lot of kids would have taken advantage of it, right? So
sure,
he didn't, because that's not how he thinks, I guess. Right?
So we kind of touched upon it. So the way Charlie treats Raymond in the beginning of the film is kind of frustrating, because it's obvious he just doesn't understand or have any empathy towards Raymond. Have you encountered many kids or even adults that act that way towards Santi, or are people better now about certain things?
I think I have that. So you go through it. So maybe one that stands out was when we were on an airplane when he was much younger. So we were going to Hawaii, and it was the sound of the plane that was bothering him. So he was crying a little. He was not crying. He was not having a great time.
Got it.
But he was younger, maybe 3 or 2. No, 3. He was 3. But you could tell that the passengers were not happy with it. But we just had to explain. It's the noise. It's bothering him. But thankfully, people were nicer. But I remember again another airplane incident where Santi could not keep still, and it was a 12-hour flight.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to walk along the hall, and he had chopsticks on him, and he was just tapping. It wasn't even loud. He was tapping every seat that he passed, right?
Mm.
And there was a mom with a kid that told us to stop doing it. Like it was like I was like, look, you have a baby with you. I'm sure you know what I'm going through right now, because I was alone traveling with him. So I was like,
right.
And then at a certain point of the flight, we had to sit where the flight attendants were, where
really?
where they had to where they had to prepare the food.
Sure.
Because I don't know, I guess we were bothering the passengers too much.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I guess that because he couldn't keep still. There are many other incidents, and I think for me, my number one thing to do, and I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but like every time he goes to a camp or every time he goes to an extracurricular activity, I just tell immediately he's autistic.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because as I've said to people, like, look, if you see somebody with a physical disability, it's easy. You can tell. But if it's in your brain, it's not obvious. It might.
It's a hidden disability. That's
absolutely.
Yeah. So I have to just be upfront, and even with other parents that my daughter has play dates, and I have to tell them, look, my son's autistic, so he may not communicate the same way others do. He may get frustrated easily, or he may just talk about, things he's passionate about over and over. So, but he's autistic. So I think I need to do better though at, how you go inside a room and you feel like people are judging you or your child.
No, absolutely.
I had that default on me. Like, I just feel like they are going to judge him. They will judge him. So I'm always prepping Santi, but sometimes I feel like I'm putting too much pressure on him and myself, that we're unable to have fun anymore because I can't tell if what he's doing is acceptable, right? or not. But again, I go back to, but why can't he be himself if he's not hurting anybody, right?
That's right.
Why can't he make, louder sounds? Why? Is it really what people are thinking of me, or I'm just putting that in my head because I've read so many news about it, or I'm just afraid of confrontation, or because it's painful to see your child get criticized, or people look at your child differently, or kids, avoiding your child, right? Because he's acting differently, or he's overbearing, for example.
Yeah, there's no playbook. There's no manual about how to. You can only go from your experiences, and you do the best you can. And so I don't think there's a right or wrong way you could handle this.
No, there isn't, and probably as we're talking about it, maybe the most recent one that I've had was with his previous school, right, where it's like you think he's doing well, and then they list down everything that they think your son is doing wrong in class. But most of it, you feel like, well, it's because he's autistic. Like, what can I do about it, right? So, so he makes noises every morning. He drops his bags. He can't put all his stuff in his backpack. Because a lot of autistic children have trouble with executive functioning. So,
Right.
you have to lay down every step of a certain task for them. Otherwise, it's so overwhelming for them, right? So it's not a simple, like, go clean your room. It's like, okay, when you're in your room, first you fold the bed sheets, the sheets, and then you do this, and then you vacuum the floor. So every step has to be laid out. But even educators, like, I find that they're not willing. I don't know if they're not willing, but maybe they're not trained to make things better for them. I don't know. I'm gonna get some flack for this, but not all. There are some really good teachers.
And also, Santi's been mainstreamed, like, so he is with other kids that don't have autism, which is great. So he's not just with other autistic kids.
Yeah, but it's great and not so great, because I find that some kids have learned to just tolerate him
instead of get to know him.
Yeah, so he's not included. So if one time I went to school with him because I wanted to help him, right? So he goes to the line and just tells, because again, this is the same thing as, are you taking any prescription medicine? Right? He goes to a couple of girls. He says to them, do you know that dinosaurs, like, some fact about dinosaurs, right?
Okay. Because he loves dinosaurs.
Yeah, or any animal. So he says a fact about them. The girls look at each other and they ignore him.
Mm-hmm.
So now when they go back to class, Santi has what seems to be like unexplained anger towards them.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. Like, so now he's just like, he's questioning what they're saying. He's, when they recite in class, he says something silly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so what the teachers see is that, oh, he's being a mean kid. But what they didn't see was that before class started, he tried talking to them, but he felt like he was ignored. Because he was ignored. And I can't blame the kids, right? Because they don't understand what he's talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the kids don't have the maturity to at least, say, like, oh, that's nice. That's all it probably would take. Like,
right. Oh, how cool, right? Oh, yeah. But again, like, because they don't, it's also one of the teachers' jobs, I feel, maybe. Or maybe if there were more teachers, who knows? I guess at that point, no one was there, right? So let's encourage them. Like, if somebody tells you, if Santi tells you something that's like that, just tell them, oh, I see, that's cool. That's all he needs, right? Yeah. An acknowledgement that he exists and that what he said was heard. That's it. But what they just see is the behavior that stemmed out of that conversation. So.
Right. So it's always the aftermath. It's always like the person that punches back is the one that gets in trouble, not the person that started the fight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So just, again, like, I have so many stories. But
no, this is what I wanted. Yeah. Because this is what parents of kids that have autism, have to deal with that a lot of people don't see.
Gosh. Yeah. So one is, like, recently he went to a nature camp. Mm-hmm. So it was going so well, right? So 3 days, no behaviors. He had so much fun. Mm-hmm. Fourth day was I get a phone call from the camp leads. They say, "Oh, Santi had a fight with one of the kids because apparently he saw a kid chase the geese. So I'm telling you, Santi loves animals. So he tells the kid, don't chase them. Of course, the kid doesn't care. He just, because he's being a kid, right? So he ignores Santi, and then Santi's just like, no, don't chase him. And then he tells Santi to shut up, right? Shut up. And then he brushes his shoulder, right? So like, shut up. Mm-hmm. And Santi gets angry about it. So they go back to class, and he stomps on his foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So again, from there, like the following day, it escalated. They're still fighting against each other. But what the news that I hear is that Santi was being very aggressive. So I asked Santi, so what happened? Why did you start hitting him? Well, because I was telling a story. This was the following day, right after the geese incident. Mm-hmm. The following day, he was still being aggressive, and I thought we had a conversation about it already. So I asked, why did you have to hit him? And he said, well, I was telling a story and then he told me I was an idiot.
Mm.
And I guess one good thing about Santi is he doesn't back down from a confrontation.
Right.
So he's like, no, you're not telling me I'm an idiot. So I am, come tag, when they played tag, he was really after the kid.
Oh,
I am after. But again, so what they see is just Santi being
the aftermath.
Unusually, aggressive. When they didn't know what he was called an idiot. And unfortunately, it's not the first time Santi's been called a variation of that term, right?
Right.
Because he's he's misunderstood, so they think he's probably not. He's not like us, and he must be an idiot or dumb or stupid. So
right, exactly. Just for reference, how old is Santi?
He's 10. He's 10, but he's probably maturity-wise with neurotypical peers, probably more like a 9 or an 8.
Okay. Yeah. Does he have any routines or things or items he has to have, to kind of correlate with Raymond? Now, I understand Raymond was kind of a rare case, but are there any things that Raymond did, at least to a lesser extent, that Santi does?
Not really, because Santi is Santi needs to have a toy on him all the time.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's any toy that whatever item he's interested in, because it's either that or the dog, right? Or our dog.
Okay.
Because I find it for him to be a conversation starter.
Mm.
So, we would go to the playground, he would have toys on him because he wants the kids to come see the toys. And that for him is he's making connection. So in that term, that's what he has. But in terms of making himself less anxious, it varies, because it's not like he can't live without something. It varies. So he's not exactly the same as Raymond.
Right.
Yeah.
So are there any routines he has? So I think that's interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Routines, not really, no. But once you teach him a routine, for us, it was getting ready for bed, right? So I had to map out a chart of what he needs to do before he goes to bed. So he follows that to a T. Mm-hmm. And if I tell him, well, why did you do this? It's things that we take for granted, right?
Sure.
Why didn't you put on your shorts? Well, it was not on the list. Yes. And it's my fault because I didn't put it on the list. To him, it was my fault.
So he likes structure, obviously.
He does. Yes, he does. Sometimes I take it for granted that he doesn't, because he does. Again, he's not like Raymond, right? At this time, he has to watch the show, right? No, it's not like that for Santi.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's one thing I do love about the Raymond character, is that I think we all have, routines and rituals we do to keep ourselves safe. And that might not be as rigid as what Raymond does, but we all go through certain things just because we like a certain routine. So I think that was really cool how they kind of, brought that out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. We do take that for granted, but we do like structure. Everybody will benefit some form of structure, and I guess some people just want more rigid structures.
Sure. Yeah. What are some of the common misconceptions about autism that you encounter often? I would assume it's probably less now as opposed to, obviously what Tom Cruise's character was dealing with.
There's a very popular thing among the autism community, and they say, oh, you meet one person with autism, you meet one person with autism, something to that effect. So I guess it's again, overgeneralizing, right? A certain feature, oh, your son's autistic, he must be really good at math. Definitely not. Definitely not. That not everybody has, again, savant qualities.
Right.
They may have certain fields that they're really interested in, and they have such a large capacity for information about that certain field. So you see some kids that are really good at Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Like they build, some autistic kids are really good at building stuff. Santi hates that. So, for example, that's one. Number two is because not all of them can speak.
Right.
Right. So, and I have heard this from even close family, like that they're not smart. That not again, like this is the whole like, are they must be smart or they must not be smart because they can't talk, right? So I guess that's it. But that's not true too. I've seen a lot of great work from nonverbal autistics. So, and I this is one. I'm just repeating what I see in the community.
Sure.
One is from parents. I think when the right now what we see on TV is really like the smart, the savants, the
rare cases.
Who's this guy? Oh my gosh, the Tesla guy.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, the Elon Musks. But there are autistic people that are really struggle. Like they really need more support.
Sure.
Like so I think that's it. Like just blanket saying that everyone is an Albert Einstein when they're not, or saying that everyone. We're all autistic in a certain way. It's really not true. I wish, but no, it's not true. So,
well, I think in many ways the autism community is just like every other community in the sense that you can't like every person has their own unique quality. So just like every autistic person does. Yeah.
It's very different. I think. And it's so because again, like we're creatures that want structure, want order. So we try to, you must be autistic. It gives us some sense of confidence in dealing with someone. If you're this, then you must be this. So it's a lot more complex than that.
So to kind of wrap up, I was always curious. So your daughter is not autistic. How does she react towards Santi? I mean, granted, she's known, obviously he's older, so she's always been around Santi, so it's not any different to him. Does she know that he's a little bit different, or she doesn't care, or she would treat him the same because it's her brother and that's just the way things go?
So Caitlin grew up with this, right? So she, our days have been scheduled around a certain routine of therapies or Santi needs help here, Santi got into a fight here, so she is very aware of what Santi is, and how does she treat him like as any normal 8-year-old would, a brother. So a lot of times they don't get along.
Sure.
But I can see that when Santi is being mistreated, she does defend Santi.
Right.
She really does. She won't admit it, but I can see like, I don't like that kid. He was very mean to Santi.
It's kind of the old adage was like, I can make fun of my brother or I can be mean to my brother, but you better not be,
Yeah. So I'm very open, like in my home, I'm very open about Santi. Santi knows he's autistic because I don't think there's anything wrong with it, right? It's just, so I treat it as that, and I've always, and I don't know, maybe you need another segment on siblings of someone, caregivers, right? So
sure.
There's a lot of movies about that too. She knows that we need to give Santi a different kind of support.
Right.
So that's because also of my culture, right? There is that. So you have to take care of your sibling, even if, you'll have your own life, but you need to take care of your sibling. So I try to press that on early, even now. Right?
So even though she's very young, but do you ever find her getting resentful, like just attention wise? Like, look, like I have needs too. I'm your other kid.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Like she started to become really sensitive to noise, and I think one time she wondered if she was autistic too. But I also wonder if she's just doing that because she wants to be like her brother,
or she wants some attention that he gets.
Yeah, I don't know what it exactly it is because she is unable to verbalize it. She probably can't understand what she's feeling too. So
Right. And that's probably something I guess you're aware of, and I don't know if you worry about it, but it's definitely something that you have to keep an eye on.
yeah, because she started now she's wearing Santi's noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
So in class, she also goes out of the class if it's, and the same things that we're doing with Santi. Like she takes breaks. So I'm curious if there's really something real, like anatomically, physiologically that's bothering her, or this is more, is it attention, as you say, or I don't know.
And you won't know. Maybe you just kind of have to see how it evolves.
Right. And maybe when she's older, she'll explain to me.
Exactly. I know. And I think that's the most challenging part. It's hard enough being a parent, and this just adds more layers to that.
Yeah. And, I worry too that she's not, because sometimes they get into fights, her and Santi, where Santi can be like physically aggressive, right?
Sure.
And I always, when, Santi can get really, I tell her to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, because I don't want her growing up thinking that that's normal.
Right.
Because then it will branch out into a different relationships where she's beaten up and she thinks, oh, that's fine. They're angry. So it's okay to really
right. You can accept it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, punch him back.
It's much more nuanced than that. Yes.
Yeah. So no, so it's those things like we do need to adjust to Santi, but that doesn't mean he gets to step all over us. So
right. Well, I really appreciate you doing this, Chris, and I appreciate you being so open and honest about this. I thought it was important to I could kind of give the basics about what I've learned about autism, but obviously I have no idea what it's like, and I think that you probably introduced opened up some people's eyes about things, and I appreciate you doing it.
Thank you. Also, I wanted to point out, and to be clear to your listeners, that
sure,
it is from perspective of a neurotypical, from a mom. So I am not autistic. So
right.
It would be really cool if I also wonder a lot of times what Santi's really feeling.
Sure.
I don't know. Sure. So just a caveat, but
no, absolutely, and that's but you're the closest thing to someone,
right?
Because I'm not in your shoes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that so it's nice to give us the voice to, and to share what we feel and how things are for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again, Chris.
Thank you.
If you enjoy this podcast and are an iTunes user, please do the show a favor and head on over to the official iTunes page for Damn Good Movie Memories. Be sure to leave a rating and a review. This will allow the show to appear higher in the algorithm and spread the joy of this podcast to the masses. If you are not an iTunes user, you can still listen and subscribe on Podbean at damngoodmoviememories.podbean.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook under our Damn Good Movie Memories page. You can also listen to a limited number of episodes on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and be sure to tune in next week for an all-new episode of Damn Good Movie Memories.